Hello and welcome to Nithrania Game Club. My name is Branislav Berec and you're watching Game in a Nutshell, the series of videos designed to teach how to play various board games. Today we're going to learn how to play the game called Parks, which actually started as a piece of art, but I'm really happy that it ended up being a beautiful and really nice and a good game. First, place the game board in the middle of the table. Then shuffle the decks of Parks, Gears, Canteens, Seasons and also the deck of Year cards. Reveal the top 3 cards from the Parks deck and also the Gear deck. Then prepare the trail. These 5 basic side tiles are included in every game, and this 6th basic side tile, Waterfall, is included in the games with 4 and 5 players. The other 4 tiles are called the advanced side tiles, and they are marked with this asterisk symbol. So first, separate these 5 basic tiles, and if you play a 4 or 5 player game, add this 6th tile as well. Then shuffle the advanced tiles, create the draw pile, and add the first tile to these basic tiles. You can put the remaining advanced side tiles aside for the moment. Then take those basic tiles and the first advanced tile and shuffle them all together. Now begin creating the trail with this trailhead tile, and then randomly place the side tiles to form the trail. Finally, place this trail end tile to the end of the entire trail. Then each player takes 2 hikers and the campfire token of the same color, and make sure the campfire token is with this lit side up. Then 1 card from the Canteens deck, which is turned face up, and 2 bonus cards from the Year deck. Players would secretly look at both cards and keep one and discard the other. Bonus cards are kept secret from other players. Randomly determine the starting player, who will get this first player token, and then the player to the right of the first player would receive this camera. Then all players place both of their hikers on the trailhead tile and you're ready to go. In Parks, players take on the roles of 2 hikers who trek across trails. They visit various sites, they collect these tokens, and when they reach the end of the trail, they can spend those tokens to visit various parks and earn points. They can also buy these gear cards to make it easier for them to fulfill the objectives. Because we have 4 seasons of the year, players will trek across 4 different trails. They represent 4 rounds of the game, and whoever has the most points at the end of the game is the winner. 4 seasons of the year make up the 4 rounds of the game. Each round, players take turns, starting with the first player and then going in a clockwise direction. But before players begin their journeys, at the start of each season, first flip the season card face up. Season cards either affect the gameplay for the entire round or entire season, or they have some immediate effect. One way or another, you also have to apply this weather pattern. Starting with the second side, and trailhead is not a side, so this is the first and this is the second side. So starting with the second side, place these indicated tokens from the general supply, 1 per side from left to right. So the weather pattern from this season card, and again remember we start from the second trail side, would actually look like this. And now, starting with the first player, player will take turns. On your turn, you take one of your hikers and you move them to the new side down the trail. So you must always move them to the right of their current position. Then when you land on the new side, you must take the action of that side, and if there are any weather tokens, you collect those tokens. You must be able to perform the action. If you cannot move to that site. If you want to move to the site which is already occupied by another hiker, even your own one, you have to have this campfire token with the lit side up, and you have to flip that token to the extinguished side. Then you can move your hiker and perform the action of that site. You can relight your campfire only when one of your hikers reaches the end of the trail, so use that campfire token wisely. When all hikers reach the end of the trail, the round and the season will be over. These side tiles will get reshuffled together with one more new advanced tile. New season card will be flipped over, and all the hikers will begin their journeys from the trailhead tile again. Now I will explain what actions you can take at each site. When you visit these basic sites, you simply collect the tokens depicted. So visiting the valley, I can take 2 sunshine tokens. You can have maximum 12 tokens at the end of your turn. So if you would visit a location and you would get another token, you have to discard down to 12. When you land on this Vista tile, you have 2 options. You can either take the top card from the Canteens deck and place it face up into your player area, and I'll talk about those Canteen cards in a minute. Or the second option is to spend any 2 resources from your personal player area and take a photo. When you take a photo, you take one of these tokens. It doesn't matter which one you take, they are all worth 1 victory point. And in addition, you take the camera. Again, place the camera into your player area. When you land on the Vista tile and you decide to take a photo and you already have a camera, you only need to spend 1 resource to get the picture. When you take the wildlife action, you can turn any token into a wild token. Wild tokens are wild and you can use them instead of any other token. When you use the lodge action, you can spend 2 tokens and get 2 other tokens in return, but not the wild tokens. They have to be other. That means I could spend these 2 water tokens, which would block the water token here, and I could get forest, sunshine and a mountain tokens. If I would decide to spend sunshine and a mountain token, that would block those 2 types of tokens, and I could in return only get forest or water tokens. When you take this action, you have to spend 2 tokens, so if you don't have 2 tokens, you are not allowed to visit this location. When you land on the riverside, you can spend the water token and then you can copy the action of the site occupied by another hiker. So you cannot copy any location you want, only the location where there is already another hiker. And finally, when you visit the lookout site, you can either take the parks action or the buy gear action. These actions are the same as the actions on this trail end site. Parks action is either reserve a park or visit a park. When you reserve a park, you can choose one of the 3 cards available on the board or draw the top card from the deck. Take the selected card and place it horizontally into your player area to separate it from the parks you have already visited. Then if you took the card from the board, replace that card with a new one. When you decide to visit a park, again, you can choose one of the 3 cards available on the board or one of your reserved cards. Then you need to spend the corresponding tokens, which are returned back to the general supply, and then place the card vertically into your player area. Again, if you took the card from the board, reveal the new card. And then the third option is to buy the gear. Similar to the previous action, you can choose one of the 3 cards available. You need to pay the price by spending the depicted tokens and then add the card to your personal area. Gear cards provide permanent bonuses and some of them also provide instant bonuses. You can have unlimited number of those gear cards. Canteens provide additional benefits when you fill them with water. However, you can only fill them with water you gain that turn. You cannot fill them with the water tokens you already have in your player area. So after gaining a token, I can take the token to the canteen and use the benefit. So in this case, I would get the forest token. Water tokens remain on the canteen card until end of the round. If you manage to gain multiple water tokens during one turn, in this case the weather token and also the token from the action site, you can fill more canteens during the same turn. Again, there is no limit to the number of canteen cards you can have. When you reach the trail end, you can take one of those 3 depicted actions. You can either reserve a park, visit a park, or you can buy a gear. In addition, you can flip your campfire token from this extinguished side to the lit side. That means your second hiker can use that campfire token again. Now, if you decide to take the Reserve a Park action, if you are the first player to use that action, you also get this first player token for the next season. Other players may still take that action, but they would not get the first player token. When you decide to take the buy gear action and you are the first player to do it, you have a 1 sunshine token discount. In 4 and 5 player games, as this symbol indicates, even the second player who decides to take this action has the 1 sunshine token discount. All other players have to pay the full price. When there's only one hiker remaining on the trail, that hiker can no longer visit the sites. He must go directly to the end trail tile and pick one of the actions. However, if you allow one player to be the last player on the trail, but with both hikers, he is not forced to move those hikers to the trail end yet. He must do so only in case he would have just one hiker remaining on the trail. So if that player would play cleverly, he can move very slowly and use as many actions as possible. Then when all hikers reach the trail end, the season will be over. The player with the camera can spend one resource to take another photo. All the campfires are flipped from the extinguished side to the lit side, and all the water tokens from the canteens are returned back to the general supply. All hikers return back to the trailhead. Now take all the sides from the trail, add one advanced tile side from the draw pile, and shuffle all the tiles together. Randomly form the new trail, and with the new advanced tile, the new trail will be 1 tile longer. Then remove the season card from the previous season and flip the new card face up, apply the effect, and also apply the weather pattern. Remember, start applying the weather pattern from the second side. At the end of the 4th season, the game will be over. Count up the points from the visited parks, then each photo tile is worth 1 victory point. Add 2 or 3 victory points from the year card if you achieved the objective, and the first player token is also worth 1 victory point. The player with the most points is the winner. So that's how you play parks. At the end of the rulebook you can also find the rules for the solo game. Otherwise, if you don't have any questions or comments, please put them into the comment section below. I'll be more than happy to answer those questions. If you like the video and if you like the show, please subscribe. My name is Branislav Berec. You've been watching Game in a Nutshell and hope to see you next time.